lisansüstü mezunlarımız adına konuşma yapmak üzere siyaset bilimi ve uluslararası ilişkiler yüksek lisans program mezun adaylarımızdan Nur Sakinah Jannati'yi kürsüye davet ediyorum. Dear guests, all our esteemed academics and our dear graduates-to-be, their families, we are now ready to start awarding our graduate degrees. First, I would like to invite Ms. Nur Sakinah Jannati, an MA candidate in International Relations Program, to address this gathering on behalf of all graduate students.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, and a very good evening, everyone. I remember meeting a group of girls in a refugee camp in Idlib, Syria. Upon our meeting, the first question that they asked us at that time was, are you guys going to school? And are you guys learning? And I still couldn't forget the glimmer of hope and excitement that I saw within their eyes when we told them that we were in fact students studying in different universities. It was as if the mere thought of being able to learn at school and being able to learn has been a long, hopeful dream of theirs. They then proceeded to tell us that they don't have a school there, and the only lesson that they could afford to learn is the Quranic lessons which were taught by the selected mu'allim and mu'allima in the refugee camp. At the exact precise moment, I realized one crucial thing. I realized that I did not get where I am today here on this stage because I am much more talented. I realized that I did not get here where I am today here on this stage because I am much more talented, much more smarter, or much more hardworking than those girls. I realized that I got here today mainly because of the privileges that I have in my life. I am privileged enough to have been born into a safe country, to have never been through war. I am privileged enough to always have food upon my table and a roof on top of my head. I am privileged enough to have never starved. I am privileged enough to have been born into a family who values education and who sees it as an important vessel to improve our lives. And I am privileged enough to have never spent a day sleeping in a refugee camp. And lastly, I am privileged enough to simply have the option and a future ahead of me. I realized that there's a lot of hardworking and talented people out there, but they simply couldn't get to where we are today simply because they were not blessed with the same opportunities as us. So as we stood here today to celebrate our achievements, I hope that we can take a moment and to just remember the less fortunate and underprivileged people than us. The Palestinians in Gaza who were forced to endure horrifying circumstances and ongoing genocide over the last few months. The Uyghurs in East Turkestan who face constant violation of human rights over the past few years as propagated by the Chinese government in China. The Syrians in Syria who were attacked, slaughtered, and murdered by their own government, the very entity who was supposed to be there to protect us. And not to forget the people in Afghanistan, in Yemen, in Sudan, in Congo, and in different parts of the world who were not blessed with the same opportunities as us. I hope that we can take a moment and just remember them. A few months ago, I met a great scholar from the National Universities of Singapore. And I remember asking him on whether or not academia is worth the journey. I'm sure like most of you guys, I have been contemplating my decision to venture into academia due to the challenges that I faced throughout the past few years. At that time, he gave me such a profound answer that I still remember to this day. He simply said to me, the path of a scholar is a path of loss. The path of a scholar is a path of loss. You will lose a lot of things. You will lose a lot of money to buy books and resources to learn, and you will also lose a lot of time. As your friends gain years and years worth of working experience, you are still struggling behind your books and articles trying to make sense of what you learn. But however, it is also a path of abundance. God's blessing and rest will come to you in the ways, the most unexpected ways that you can imagine if you truly learn sincerely. I would like to just take this opportunity to congratulate all of the fellow graduates in this year's cohort. I think that I could attest to the fact that it's not easy to get where we are today, despite of our privileges. Despite the challenges that we face, Alhamdulillah, we managed to finish on time with a scroll on our hands. I'm sure that most of you guys have been through so much blood, sweat, and tears over the past few years, sacrificing so much to get where you are today. As we ventured back into the real world, I'm sure that we will miss a lot of things when we were a student. The excitement that you felt whenever you discovered a new idea in class, the feeling of relief whenever you managed to submit your assignment on time. And as for the masters and PhD students, I'm sure that you guys would definitely miss the thrill and the excitement that you felt whenever you are running away from your supervisor, whenever they are asking you about the progress of your thesis. I would definitely miss that. I ran away from my supervisor for over 6 months because I was simply not ready to tell him that there's not much progress with my thesis. Speaking of supervisors, I would like to also thank my supervisor, Professor Talha Kose, for guiding me patiently throughout my thesis writing period, and also all of the other professors in my department, Professor Ali Aslan, Professor Burhanuddin Nuran, Dr. Mehmet Akif Kayapinar, and Professor Wahabuddin. And on behalf of the graduates, I would like to thank all of the professors and teachers in all of the different faculties and departments in the university. I think that being an educator is one of the most fulfilling and honorable job that one could do. And you are basically molding the future generation into a better version of themselves. And for that, I would like to thank all of you. I would like also to extend my thanks to my friends who have been supporting me wholeheartedly throughout this roller coaster of a journey. My family members, my parents, my siblings, my uncle and aunt, and most importantly, my late mother and late grandmother. They both, I was basically raised by both of my late mother and late grandmother. And everything that I am today, I owe it to both of them. I wish that both of them could be here today with me to share with me this small achievement, but I'm sure that both of them are watching over me from the heavens today. I would like to also thank my cat, Toasty, for keeping me sane whenever I feel like I'm going crazy in writing my thesis. And not to forget my cats in Malaysia, Lemon, Angel, Sleepy, and Gabby. I think that having pets in your life add a lot of colors to your life, especially if you have a life as dull as mine. Again, as we graduate today, I hope that all of us could take a moment and ask ourselves one important question as we venture back into the real world. Ask yourselves, what can I do with the privileges that I have in my life to help others? And with that, I end my speech. Thank you.